Hey everybody, I'm Zeo, the creator of Game and Next to Nothing. This week we're not going to have another mini-sode or GHCC. This time I just wanted to give you a little more in-depth look about how we make these episodes. And if you decide you like these episodes, give us a thumbs up, comment down below, let us know, and we can make more of these going forward after the show. So with this scene, as we have our opening scene, you can see that the camera is panning down, looking down at the floor, scrolling across a bunch of debris with the alarms going off. This is our first time ever filming Next to Nothing. We made a couple trailers, but we didn't really have any experience with machinima or anything at all. The only experience I personally had, because I filmed this episode, was just I watched machinima, and I loved movies. So I kind of tried to be as creative as possible with some of these shots. So basically I started from the top of the ceiling and I'm just rubbing against the ceiling going backwards. I'm sorry. I'm actually rubbing against the ceiling going forward. And what I did there is I reversed the footage and I slowed it down. And as you can see, like, this isn't great. You can see the frame rate kind of drop quite a bit here. So here you can see that we slowed down quite a bit. And you can see that Robin is very slow and doesn't move anywhere near as fast as she normally does. So that's how we kind of create the laying down emote longer. By the way, we use a lot of mods to make this happen. Without mods, this show wouldn't exist to the capacity we were able to make it. And that was just kind of the first scene. So, we have Prek waking up. He notices the suit for the first time here.
You just gotta hold your breath long enough to change suits.
And then,
Plenty of practice.
because of our lack of experience, we decided to just have a black screen with the whole system shutting down in the ship to kind of just make it feel like, hey, it's dark, and we kind of just had Sven acted out with Prek. And then we move on to the scene where he falls out of the ship. And we didn't know how to really film Prek waking up, changing suits because that's a limitation within the game we couldn't do, and then trying to walk through debris of a broken ship that we didn't know how to build yet because we just started this. So we made the whole thing black. Part of me thinks that it's lazy, but another part is kind of appreciative that we were at least able to kind of create an element where we could still tell the story in the way of making it seem like he's changing. And we hope all of you understood that. And if you didn't, let us know. So that way we'll never do this again. So we're going to watch this scene real quick where Prek admits that he's not the captain, and Ness doesn't know how to handle that.
Farm. No. Okay, I'm not the captain. That guy's dead. Just kind of took a suit because there was an issue going on.
You killed the captain?
Whoa, wait, no, it's not. Okay, I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
I really like this scene in the first episode. This is where we got very creative for the first time of camera trickery and how to make it look like something was happening. So we're going to end up playing a few things over and over again just to kind of explain how it went down. We have Ness running, and then we do a punch. The only punch we can with the limited resources we have with this animation style. And it looks ridiculous, so we cut that off super quick. And then we cut to the next scene. Here is where the camera trickery comes in. So it looks like, if we play, it looks like he gets hit back, right? Starting here, it looks like he's getting hit. He's flying back. Really, as you can see now, Ness is just standing still. The only thing we do is I do a quick camera turn and zoom, just to kind of add a impact kind of feel to it. So he gets hit and he flies off. Now you're wondering, how do we get him to go backwards? Well, really, how this scene went down is Toll was Prek and I was Ness. So I have Ness standing here, I have my camera over and the angle of which you see. And this took probably about a good 12 to 15 tries. We have the Superman mod. And what we did is Toll jumped off a cliff with the Superman mod and just flew to me. And then he tried to perfectly land in front of Ness. So that's why he's kind of crouched there, because that's the landing emote. That's kind of him just landing. That's just the animation it does. And so we had a few times where he went way past me, a few times where he stopped too early. There's even one time where he knocked into me and because my camera is not in the body, the body becomes a ragdoll and it just kind of floats off the screen. It was hilarious. But we got the perfect scene. We managed to get it out, and then I just reversed it. So it looks like he's getting knocked back. So when we play the whole scene,
Okay, I think there's been a bit of a
it
misunderstanding.
looks like he gets punched and thrown away. Now this is the next camera trickery part. The cactus exploding. So what we did is we have Ness right over here in the background to kind of show, hey, this is close by, and it's to show the distance at which Ness punched Prek. So this was two separate scenes that I kind of pieced together. I have my camera sitting over here, and then as you can see, the very next frame before it busts into a cloud, you can see Toll right there shooting a laser to blow up the cactus. The cactus explodes and we got the smoke. So now what I did after that is I kind of overlaid another video right here on the top, Prek flying to me in the camera, because you can see again the laser is gone. So with the smoke right here, so in the bottom left corner right here, this is where Toll is shooting the laser. He kind of gets covered by smoke, and then this is one scene, and then this is the very next scene. So this is where I kind of threw a whole nother scene on top of this, and then I kind of played with the transparency levels of the scene and had one fade in while one faded out. So I faded out the whole cactus exploding here, that way you could still see smoke and debris, and then the background looks almost exactly the same. And then we just have Prek coming in. So this was a fun scene, and this was actually the perfect shot and the only shot we could take. This happened in actually 2 tries. The first time he went way over me, and then the second time he hit the camera. So he hit me. So like, even though I'm this invisible camera, for some reason I have a hitbox. If they hit me, it throws everything off. So as you can see, I had to cut it close. I literally cut it right at the point where he impacts with my camera's hitbox and knocks me out of frame, because then it threw everything off. You can even see here in the distance, there's a little bit of shakiness. You see the fuzziness kind of around. Over here in this cactus is evident. That's because that's him hitting the camera. So I cut to the next scene. And with this one, we kind of just did the same thing. Toll did a Superman and kind of just flew off over my camera. I told him where I was pointing and angling, and he kind of goes there. And so we do, at the end, we do a camera shake, and it looks like an impact. So we'll watch the whole scene again, so you can kind of see how it's broken down.
Okay, I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
So we got the screen, the impact, and then another impact. So we did the impact with the camera shake to kind of express that he hit the ground. And we've done that quite a few times with the series. It's very impactful and it works very well. So as we can see, Prek is kind of running around and he's talking in his head. You have the echo to kind of express that. The whole idea was just to kind of explain the situation a little bit so everybody kind of knew what was going on. This is our first episode, so we have to kind of give a lot of information in a little time. So in this scene right here, we're going to start off by saying, this isn't me. I'm not holding the camera for this. What ended up happening is I was building a set real quick, and Toll was running around on top of this plateau, which actually isn't a part of the desert. It's just this giant rock sitting in the sky. And he turned his HUD off and switched the camera to be in the front. And he just kind of ran in a giant circle. Like, that's it. He's just running in a circle for this scene. I really love this shot, and I want to do more shots like this, but we just have to get better at it. As you can see, there's a flaw here. Prek's backpack is the wrong color. This is kind of one of the first times we were really creating the suits and everything, and we didn't write everything down perfectly, so Prek's backpack is a slightly lighter blue than he is. And I did a coloration to make the sky match. The reason I did that is because when Toll was doing this, I couldn't control the sun. So in all my shots, I can kind of control where the sun is at to kind of create better lighting. However, in this, the sun was already going down. So it had this reddish hue to it. And it definitely didn't match the scene prior. And obviously, it's supposed to be happening in the exact same moment. You know, you can see the ground is different colors. There's a very big difference, but you know, we try our best to make it work. So our next scene is actually right after that. It's where Prex stops and he starts monologuing to himself to try to problem solve. Now this scene was interesting because how it was written down was we have him pacing back and forth and the camera is following him. Due to the nature of the camera and how it moves and everything, it's really hard to keep up with a walking pace. Not to mention there wasn't a steady walking pace that's consistent. In a lot of games, you push a button to run. While you can do that to sprint in this, you just go from a jogging pace as your average pace. And to walk, you kind of push the joystick slower. And on a keyboard, there isn't anything to make you walk at a certain exact pace. And because of the inconsistency of how fast someone can move, we decided to create 2 points. Here, I'll play the scene. And when he turns around, you'll see. As you can see right here, this is a mound. We kind of created that mound. So we have 1 mound on this side and then 1 mound on that side. So we got this mound and then this mound. And you notice my mouse is pretty close to the same spot. So the whole point of that is we reshot this scene probably about 5 times, I think it was. We did 1 shot where him walking back and forth, saying the entire line, Toll was. And then I went to the other side, on this side angle, and had him do the same thing with the same lines. But I had 4 close-ups on each mound where I changed the camera angle to kind of make it seem like when he says something else, I can zoom in. It was to kind of control the pacing of the monologue, essentially. I really like this shot because even though we didn't follow him, it still portrayed that he's pacing back and forth. He's still trying to plot and plan, and we kept it more visually stimulating. And that's one of the scenes I really enjoyed about episode 1. Prex fell unconscious due to heat exposure, and he's waking up in a cave. And there's lightning. He looks up and he sees Ness. There's more lightning. It scares him, and then he scares Ness. It's a nice comedic moment.
How did I get?
This scene, not quite as complicated as others. So all we did is we had the sitting emote, and we didn't quite zoom in on him to go further up to show his face, even though we wanted to. Mostly because when the character's sitting, they move their head really rapidly. And so we had to slow this down, and I didn't want his body to move. So I really slowed the frame down and just kind of zoomed up with the smart zoom. And then here, we timed it, the lightning strike, with his head movement to make it seem like it woke him up. And how we created the lightning is all I did is I went into the editor and I just blew up any light source. So anytime there was a light source, I just expanded on that and made it really bright. And then I only did it for 1 frame, as you can see. And so it kind of created a lightning effect. We just timed it with sound and it worked. And so he stands there, and I did the exact same thing. I just bloomed out every little bit of a light source, and it kind of made it look like lightning. And so it worked. That was just a fun scene. That's actually one of my favorite scenes of this episode is this part, just because it's silly. It's where we start to really see the direction that the show is going. Well, everybody, that was kind of the director's commentary of episode 1, where I kind of explained a few scenes that I really enjoyed. If you guys really like this episode, like I said, comment down below, let me know, give it a thumbs up, tell your friends. If there's other more behind the scene things you want to know about, let us know. We can kind of figure out how to do it, and then we'll explain to you how we made the show. Thanks for watching. So, next week, episode 7. Bye.